Later that day, Jacob crosses paths with Agent Ross for the first time in a few days. Agent Ross asked, "Jacob, where have you been? I've been reading the reports and it seems you have been a little distracted on your missions. What's been going on with you, Jacob?" Jacob hesitates, unsure how much to reveal to Agent Ross. "I've just been trying to understand the bigger picture, sir. I've been meeting with some of the other team leaders, trying to get a sense of what's really going on." Agent Ross raises an eyebrow. "The bigger picture? Jacob, your mission is to follow orders and get the job done. You don't need to know the bigger picture." Jacob feels a surge of frustration. "But that's just it, sir. I don't know what we're fighting for. I don't know what's at stake. And I'm starting to think that there's more to this than just following orders." Agent Ross's expression turns stern. "Jacob, you're walking a thin line here. I suggest you focus on your missions and let the higher-ups handle the strategy. You don't want to end up like Agent Thompson." Jacob's heart skips a beat at the mention of Agent Thompson's name. What happened to him? And what does Agent Ross know about Jacob's encounters with the mysterious man in the leather coat, and the Phoenix Initiative? Jacob decides to play it cool and assure Agent Ross that he'll focus on his missions. Jacob leaves the meeting with Agent Ross, feeling a sense of unease. He can't shake off the feeling that something is off. As he walks away, he notices a small piece of paper on the ground. He picks it up, and it's the same receipt from the bar with the handwritten note, "Look into Phoenix Initiative. Be careful who you trust." Jacob wonders if this is a coincidence or if someone is trying to send him a message. Jacob decides to investigate the Phoenix Initiative. He starts by searching for any online mentions, but finds nothing concrete. He then tries to access classified files, but they're heavily encrypted. Undeterred, Jacob reaches out to his contacts, hoping someone might know something. After a few discreet inquiries, he gets a lead. Mr. Gonzalez, a former scientist involved in the Phoenix Initiative, might be willing to talk. Jacob arranges a secret meeting with Mr. Gonzalez, who reveals that the Phoenix Initiative is a clandestine operation aimed at exploiting the Montauk project's technology for military gain. Mr. Gonzalez hands Jacob a cryptic folder containing classified documents and warns him, "Be careful, Jacob. They'll stop at nothing to keep this under wraps." As Jacob leaves the meeting, he's confronted by Agent Ross and his team. "Jacob, you're coming with us. You've been compromised." Jacob decides to play it cool and goes with Agent Ross, acting as if nothing's out of the ordinary. He hands over the folder, but not before quickly scanning the contents and committing key details to memory. Agent Ross eyes him suspiciously, but Jacob's nonchalant demeanor seems to ease his concerns. "Let's get you debriefed, Jacob. We need to discuss your recent activities." As they arrive at the agency's headquarters, Jacob is led to a secure interrogation room. Agent Ross begins questioning him, but Jacob sticks to his cover story, revealing nothing about his encounters with Joseph, Mr. Gonzalez, or the mysterious man in the leather coat. Just as the debriefing seems to be wrapping up, Agent Ross drops a bombshell. "Jacob, we've received intel that a rogue time agent is operating in the area. We suspect it may be someone you've encountered recently." Jacob's heart skips a beat, but he maintains his poker face. "I don't know what you're talking about, sir." Agent Ross leans in, his eyes narrowing. "Don't play dumb, Jacob. We know you're hiding something. Who is this rogue agent?" Jacob says, "I encounter people all the time, Agent Ross. You're gonna have to be more specific." To that, Agent Ross smirks and pulls out a photo from his pocket. "Very well, Jacob. Let's see if this rings a bell." He slides the photo across the table, and Jacob's eyes widen as he takes in the image. It's a picture of the man in the leather coat, the one who bumped into him on the street and handed him the cryptic note. "This is the rogue agent we're looking for," Agent Ross says, his eyes locked on Jacob's. "And we have reason to believe you've had contact with him." Jacob tries to maintain his cool, but his mind is racing. How did Agent Ross find out about the encounter? Jacob asks what is a Rouge Time agent. Agent Ross. Agent Ross leans in, his voice taking on a serious tone. A rogue time agent, Jacob, is someone who has defected from the official time travel program, and is now operating outside of our control. They may be using their knowledge and abilities for personal gain, or to alter the timeline for their own purposes. He pauses, studying Jacob's reaction. In this case, we believe the rogue agent is trying to disrupt the Phoenix Initiative. We don't know their motivations yet, but we know they're dangerous and need to be stopped. Agent Ross continues, "We believe the rogue agent has been in contact with certain individuals, potentially influencing their actions. We need to know if you've had any encounters with someone fitting this description." Jacob thinks back to the mysterious man in the leather coat, but doesn't make the connection. "I've met a lot of people, Agent Ross. Can you be more specific?" Agent Ross eyes him intensely. "Think carefully, Jacob. Anyone who's approached you with unusual information or requests?" Jacob hesitates, unsure if he should reveal the encounter with the man in the leather coat. But he decides to keep it to himself for now. "What makes you think this rogue agent is trying to disrupt the Phoenix Initiative?" Jacob asks, trying to sound curious rather than suspicious. Agent Ross leans back in his chair, steepling his fingers. "Let's just say we've had reports of someone trying to sabotage our efforts. We don't know their ultimate goal, but we know it can't be good." Jacob presses on, trying to get more information. "And what makes you think this agent is working alone?" Agent Ross's expression turns guarded. "We have reason to believe they may have allies, but we're still investigating." Jacob senses that Agent Ross is hiding something, but he's not sure what. He decides to keep pushing for more information. "Agent Ross, do you know who the rogue agent is?" Jacob asks, looking him straight in the eye. Agent Ross hesitates, then nods. "We have a suspect, but we need to be careful. This individual is highly trained and has access to advanced technology." Jacob leans forward, his heart racing. "Who is it?" Agent Ross pauses, then says, "Michael McIntosh." Jacob's eyes widen in shock. Michael McIntosh, the famous time traveler. He can't believe it. But then he remembers the man in the leather coat, the one who bumped into him on the street. Could it be? What makes you think Michael McIntosh is the rogue agent? Jacob asks, trying to keep his tone neutral. Agent Ross leans forward, his eyes intense. "We've received intel that McIntosh has been accessing classified files and altering timelines without authorization. We believe he's trying to disrupt the Phoenix Initiative for his own purposes." Jacob's mind races as he tries to process this information. He thinks back to his encounter with the man in the leather coat, wondering if it was indeed Michael McIntosh. What are his purposes? Jacob asks, trying to get more information. Agent Ross hesitates before responding, "We're not entirely sure, but we believe it's connected to an event in the near future. Something big is going to happen, and McIntosh is trying to change the outcome." Jacob's curiosity is piqued. What could this event be, and why is Michael McIntosh trying to alter it?